We need to see the success in the Senate in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Can they pass their genius Stablecoin Act? What amendments will they take? What will be the structure of it at the end of the day from that sausage making? And then we'll consult with them on how best to deal with it in the House, while we also will work market structure in the House and encourage senators to pursue a market structure framework of their own in the Senate.
Chairman French Hill, thank you so much for joining us on Coinage.
Glad to be with you. Thanks for the invite at this fantastic Accelerate event here in New York. We're in New York talking about crypto.
It's kind of, I didn't think this day would come, but people like you doing great work down in Congress to try and help people understand what this technology unlocks. We've come a long way, certainly with a lot of your help, so congratulations on getting a lot of this done. But there's a big one still to get done, which is reform on stablecoins. How hard has this been in your eyes? It seems like it's been a lot harder than people thought. Stablecoins were supposed to be the easy one. How would you rank it in terms of how frustrating it's been to get it across the finish line?
Well, I'm never frustrated about legislating because sausage making is something that just takes time. You've got to have patience. But my philosophy has always been find Democrats and Republicans that share the principle that we want a dollar-backed payment stablecoin. Find senators and House members that share the principles and then start working on it. And as we come into 2025, we have the wind at our back from the previous excellent work by Chairman Patrick McHenry, Bill Hagerty's terrific work in the Senate, and then the change in administration, which has just been game-changing because we get technical assistance from the Treasury, from the Commodity Future Trading Commission, from the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the bank regulators. That's why I'm optimistic we can get this done.
Yeah, not only that, but you just said too that you're optimistic you can get basically everything Trump wants to get done on crypto done before the August recess. Talking market infrastructure bill, talking stablecoin bills. I mean, how do you see that shaking out in terms of maybe getting one but not the other?
Right. Well, here's my view for why both are important. We're going to be collaborating and working on the best legislative strategy in the House and the Senate and with President Trump. But if you have a dollar-backed payment stablecoin, you need the infrastructure in which to use it with a lot of flexibility in the U.S. That's why market structure is important. Both together will put the U.S. at the forefront for innovation, bringing coding back, bringing technology investors back into the country. And what a perfect fit. We're already the world's largest capital markets. Don't you want to adjudicate a legal complaint here or enforce a contract here rather than in some of the other countries that are promoting this innovation?
Sure.
So that's why I feel so strongly about it. But my confidence about our success potential is because we have the administration, leaders like Bill Hagerty in the Senate, Tim Scott and I are working seamlessly with our staffs. And then finally, 5 years before of member education. Don't forget in 2023, we got 71 Democrats to join us on a market structure vote on our previous bill, Fit 21.
Sure.
And we believe what we'll unveil in June, we'll have a hearing on June 4th, and that week both House Ag and House Financial Services will discuss with witnesses our new draft. And I think people will see that it's a improvement, and we've listened to the ecosystem and the government, I would say, on how to do it right.
Sure, the House hearings that you've been having too on crypto there have been some good fireworks in there too from Democrats, the show of it all. How have you made one of their particular concerns does actually sound to me, even people pro-crypto, that there are maybe some concerns about failures run on banks, stable coins, if you're centralizing some of this. We saw that with USDC in the past. Is there anything you think that still needs to be done to maybe assuage some of those fears around having some sort of collapse that could happen via stable coin?
Well, systemic risk in finance is a top issue for Congress and for the bank supervisors. And we should, when we think about design of the framework and a dollar-backed stablecoin legislation, actually be thinking about what's the downside here? How could it work? How do you reduce concentration of risk? And I think we're contemplating that in these bill designs. There's no one in the world that has the transparency, auditing, capital requirements that we're contemplating in the Bryan-style House bill or the Bill Hagerty and senators stablecoin bill. That helps. 90-day or shorter treasuries, so or a 90, what's left of a note, 90 days or less on a note, treasury repo, insured deposits, auditing, transparency, reporting. I think that helps. And then I think that we'll see a lot of innovation that diversifies that risk. And again, one other point. For me, it's a payment rail. It's not a place where I'm going to leave funds. Now I know there's differences of views of that inside the digital asset ecosystem, but I'm debiting cash and I'm crediting my payment stablecoin to go and complete a mission. And then if I have extra cash in my stablecoin account, depending on my daily use or weekly use, I may debit it and credit cash again. So that's why these rules and the approach we're taking, I think, is thoughtful, but we are all thinking about systemic risk.
Well, you're leading the charge, and again, I think it's been fascinating to watch, and you and the rest of your peers trying to educate people down in Congress and getting this done the right way. Congratulations on the effort. We'll see what happens. I mean, what are you expecting in terms of getting it across the finish line?
Well, we need to see the success in the Senate in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Can they pass their genius Stablecoin Act? What amendments will they take? What will be the structure of it at the end of the day from that sausage making? And then we'll consult with them on how best to deal with it in the House, while we also will work market structure in the House and encourage senators to pursue a market structure framework of their own in the Senate.
All right, Chairman French, thank you enough, man. Thank you again for the time.